Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on this little bracelet, and this bracelet is so cute. It reminds me, now that I've finished it, reminds me of a caterpillar. So I just think it's adorable. It's so easy and so fluid. We're making it in components, and we're going to connect the components with this chain. Now you can use jump rings as well, but I love how the chain looks here. So really very easy to make and a lot of fun, and just grab some neon super duos. I'll link some down below if I can find them, but these have been in my stash for a while and I just think they're so pretty. We're going to do this non-neon one today, and you can actually do an earring to go with it. So I'm going to clear everything off. We'll get a materials list going and we'll get started. It's going. So you need a 6mm pearl, or several of them. I will list everything in the description box below the video, sizes, shapes, colors, and such. So don't forget to click the more under the video and the box will open. All the info will be there. So 6mm pearl, 11/0 seed bead, 15/0 seed bead, 3mm pearl. I've got a super duo. I've got a mini duo. I've got this chain, and this is a rolo chain that you can buy like a foot of or a certain amount, and you can cut it. That's what I did. Or you can use jump rings, and these are going to be 4mm. So I'll link those down below as well. I have a toggle clasp here, and if you're doing the earrings, I have a couple of ear wires. You'll need a stop bead, which I always forget to put out. I'm using 6-pound Fireline in smoke, and that's why, as you see me in the video, my hands look so dirty because the color comes off, and I ran out of my black satin, and apparently, they're not making that anymore, from what I hear. I don't know. If anybody knows, please let me know. And you need some beading needles. I used an 11, but have a 12 handy as well. All right, so I'm going to clear this off and we'll get started. Before we do anything, we're going to prep our clasp and our connectors. So if you see here, in between the connectors, I have 3 either jump rings or 3 pieces of a rolo chain. So one facing this way, one facing the opening facing up, and the other one facing this way, so we can sew them on. So you'll need, this is what it looks like. You'll need these, and you'll need about, I don't know, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I used 6 of them, and then more for my clasp. So at least 6 groups of the little 3 rolo chain or jump rings. And then you want 1 jump ring or a piece of the rolo chain on your toggle ring, and then you want 3 attached to your toggle bar, just like that. So that's how you're going to prep. You're going to have all that ready to go so that when you attach, everything will be ready. All right, so let's get started. Let's get started. So thread your needle with about, I'd say about 30 inches of thread. Put on a stop bead. Leave about a 10-inch tail. So I picked up and dropped down to my stop bead a super duo, a 15/0, a mini duo, and a 15/0. And I did that 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to sew those into a circle by sewing through the first bead after my stop bead, and then I'm just going to continue sewing all the way around again to reinforce. So you'll just keep going around. Come all the way around, and I'm exiting the bottom hole of the super duo. I'm going to sew through the top hole of that super duo, just like that. Okay, so I just took my mini duos and I pushed them into the center just for easy sewing. So, you can just pop yours over if you like. I'm going to pick up a 15/0, a mini duo, and a 15/0, and I'm going to sew through the next super duo, like that. I'm just going to do that all the way around. 15/0, mini duo, and a 15/0 through the next super duo. Okay, so you're just going to do that all the way around. Coming down to my last 15/0 mini duo 15/0, I'm going to sew through my super duo, and then I'm just going to reinforce this all the way around. So sew through your beads again, like that. So just come all the way around. So I've reinforced all the way around, and I want you to exit the bottom hole of a mini duo. I'm going to sew through the top hole of that mini duo. I'm going to pick up an 11/0. I'm going to sew through the top hole of the next mini duo. So we're going to be pulling these in, so you can actually push them over now, like that. 11/0, top hole of the next mini duo, push it in, and do that all the way around, and then reinforce all your beads. So all the 11/0s and the mini duos. Reinforced all the way around. I'm exiting the bottom hole of a mini. I'm going to sew through the top hole of that mini and then on through the 15-0 and the bottom hole of the super duo and then the top hole of that super duo. And then we'll be flipping it over to the other side. So this is where you'll be exiting, just like so. Okay, so all my mini duos were pushed in just for ease of sewing. I'm going to push them out now because we're going to do some work on this side. So I'm exiting this super duo here. I'm going to pick up my pearl, like so. So I'm exiting a super duo on this side. So I'm going to sew through the exact opposite super duo on the other side. So it'll be this one from the other side, like this. You can actually go through the 15-0 and the mini as well. That's where your needle wants to go because we're going in that direction anyway. So there you go. You've put on your pearl. Just move down a few beads and I'm going to exit this mini duo right here. Bottom hole of the mini duo, I'm going to sew through the top hole. Just like that. Then what we'll be doing is pushing the minis back in like this, and you'll be putting an 11-0 in between each one. So you'll be exiting the top hole of your mini, and all you're going to do is just pick up your 11-0, so through the next one, again, the next one. Do that all the way around. Okay, so I reinforced all the way around. Still have my tail thread attached here, and I did it a couple of times just to make it nice and snug. So just like that. So our unit is pretty much done, and you'll be exiting one of your mini duos. I just want to take this thread and sew through the top hole of that mini, the 15-0 and the super duo, the next super duo. I'm just setting the thread up to put on the connection. Okay, so we're exiting this super duo right here. I'm just going to sew through this hole. So let's call it the bottom hole of the super duo, just to set myself up to put my attachment. This is what I have so far. So I'm exiting this super duo here. Now my tail thread, I moved it and I kind of lost track of where I was moving. So I ended up moving it right opposite this super duo here. So I'm exiting the bottom hole of this one. So if we consider that the top, this one with my tail thread, if you can get there, just kind of weave your way through, and then you can use your tail thread to attach another unit on, because we're going to attach like, let me grab a unit. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to attach like this right in between these two. So if you have your tail thread coming out of the bottom hole of this one, you can do the same thing on this side, or you can just sew that thread in and you can always add a connection on. All right, so we're exiting this super duo. So I'm going to pick up, exiting this super duo right here. And at any point you could have just sewn these threads in and just start a new thread. But I left enough so that you could do the attachments. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a pearl, 3mm pearl, my chain or my 3 jump rings and a 3mm pearl, exiting right here. I'm going to sew through this one, just the super duo, like that. I'm going to make sure that it sits like so, and you want that chain or jump ring to be sitting in between the pearls. I'm going to sew through the other side of the super duo, right here. And then you want to sew through the pearl, the ring, and the other pearl. Like that. And just reposition your ring a little bit right there. So like that, and then you want to sew through this side of this super duo so that you have a thread. Your thread will be coming through here, both ends of the super duo. So here you're going all the way around, through there, through around, and then you're coming through the front of the super duo. So you'll have a thread here and here to hold it together. And then you're just going to reinforce all the way, you know, what you did, and then sew your threads in. And make sure you have some nice, good, solid half-inch knots in there to sort of keep it all together nicely. Make a couple of units and we'll sew them together. So very easy. You know, you've placed your rings on already with the pearls on that side. So you'll be exiting the super duo right here. So we're going to connect here, just going to repeat that side by putting on a pearl. You're going to go through the ring on the other unit and the pearl. I'm just going to sew through this super duo, the next one. You want to make sure that that ring's going to stay in there. So exiting the super duo, I'm going to sew through the other side of the super duo. Get my needle in there. Like that. Through the pearl ring pearl. So back through the pearl, the ring, and this pearl, like that. And then through this, the whole of this super duo. There we go. Like that. And then you're just going to reinforce by, you know, going through the super duo, you're going through everything again, and then you're going to tighten that up so it's nice and secure. You're going to make all your units and connect them in this way. So you want each end unit just to be like this. Don't put anything on the end. So you want both ends, your last unit of each, you know, on each end to be just like this, and then we'll add the clasp on both ends. Okay, so we're going to add the clasp on now. So you've prepped both your ring and your toggle bar. You know, you put your 3 rings here, you put your 1 ring on your toggle, the toggle ring, and you're going to thread a needle. You're going to come through, you know, put on a stop, you leave a tail to sew in. You're going to come through the top hole of the super duo. You're going to add a pearl through the ring, add a pearl. So we're putting it on exact same way we did all the links. We're just doing a separate thread, so that way, you know, I always worry about clasps breaking, and this way, you know, if it breaks, all you have to do is add another clasp on. So then I'm just going to turn it around. I'm going to sew through the other side. I'm going to sew, you know, just go through everybody again. The ring, the pearl, the ring, the pearl, like that, and then through this hole of the super duo. Push it in, like that. And then this is what we have, and you want to really reinforce the heck out of this and make sure it's nice and snug. Put the other side on, and you'll be done. So get that done, come back and we'll finish. We're all done, and how cute is that? I just love this little bracelet. I think it's so sweet. And you could do an earring too. So when you do the earring, just put on the pearls and put on 2 links of a, you know, of either 2 jump rings or 2 links of a rolo chain. So you want that opening facing, you know, facing you, and then just put on your ear wire, and you got a cute little earring. So I think that's really, really fun. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make it, post it on Facebook. I think this will be a great, like, mother-daughter bracelet, maybe. I don't know, really cute. I love the neon beads, too. All right, so take care. I'll see you next time.